Coming up, a statewide trafficking operation has ended in more than 100 arrests, including several in Northwest Ohio. What details officials gave the public today. And for more than 50 years, whichever presidential candidate won Ohio won the election. But is that still the case? What experts think is the likely outcome of this year's election.
Clear skies and very cool conditions will lead to widespread frost over the next several days. We'll highlight just how cool it's going to get and preview a warm up in my 10-day forecast. That'll be coming up in just a little bit.
Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Marentet. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. We'll get you up to speed on what's happening in the area and across the country. A statewide human trafficking operation has netted more than 100 arrests across Ohio. More than 100 law enforcement agencies worked together on the crackdown last week. The Ohio Attorney General's office says authorities arrested 110 Johns for engaging in prostitution of solicitation, including 6 from Northwest Ohio.
It's not unusual that the sting, which is much more oriented toward the street and the retail end of this, doesn't get the higher ups. We need to work up the food chain. Rest assured that we will.
Authorities also raided 9 locations linked to human trafficking, including massage parlors and a motel. In years past, Ohio has been a state where presidential candidates come to campaign, but this year not so much. 2020 was the first election in more than 50 years where Ohio's electoral votes did not go to the winning presidential candidate. University of Toledo professor of political science Sam Nelson says Ohio was a good representation of the U.S. in terms of race, education levels, and other demographic categories. For Ohio to be a swing state again, he said the state's demographics would have to change.
We've had declining population, and that's another thing that has probably helped Republicans and hurt Democrats in the state, is that the population of the state is older on average than other states. So some changing demographics, maybe in terms of people staying in the state or moving into the state for new industries, that could make the state more competitive in the future.
Nelson says voter turnout will have a big impact on the election nationally. He says there is a possibility that the race could be closer this year, with issues like abortion rights bringing more voters out. One of the issues voters will see on the ballot is for Toledo Public Schools, as the district is asking for new money. If approved, TPS will build 3 new academies on Scott Park for students starting as young as 7th grade. According to TPS officials, this project would cost around $100 million, which is why they're asking voters for help. A homeowner of a $100,000 home would be paying around $200 a year. The TPS superintendent says they want to give their students the opportunity to explore and start early in their careers.
And when you talk about the educational pathways for kids to achieve industry certification as well as an associate degree at no cost to parents, is taking the best uses of taxpayer dollars to allow education to further itself, opposed to just relying on a diploma.
TPS officials say construction is already underway for these buildings, with the roofs to be one of the first things the board has already approved to be repaired. Well, Election Day is just 22 days away, and while the country looks towards the presidential race, we're tracking dozens of races and issues that affect us all in Southeast Michigan and Northwest Ohio. On that list, Lucas County has 2 commissioner seats on the ballot. Incumbent Pete Gherkin takes on former Toledo City Councilman Tom Winooski. And appointed incumbent Anita Lopez faces political newcomer John Rosick. WTOL 11 is teaming up with the Toledo Lucas County Library to host a debate for both races. That's Thursday night, streaming right here on WTOL 11+. We are also taking questions right now. You can text the word debate to 419-248-1100 or email us at newstips@WTOL.com. Doors open at 5 o'clock at the main library downtown Thursday for anyone who wants to attend. Don't miss the opportunity to make your voice heard. A story of community is coming to Northwest Ohio from several states away. It's called the Campaign for Kindness, and it started at a church in Kansas. Now the message, "Do unto others," is proudly displayed across Findlay. Churches in the Flag City joined forces to share the message and inspire others to follow the golden rule. Organizers say whether it's the election, hurricanes in Florida, or just general stress, the message serves as a reminder.
Whether you are a person of faith or not, the idea of doing to others as you would have them do unto you, I think fits really well with just how we want to be treated. We all want to be treated with kindness, with compassion, with respect, and ultimately with love.
Do unto others is a message being spread throughout hundreds of churches nationwide. Well, the owners of a new brewery are set to cut the ribbon on its latest location. Buffalo Rock Brewing will celebrate its grand opening in Oregon Thursday. The ribbon cutting is set for 3:30. Owners tell WTOL 11 they're excited to open up in the city by the bay. Buffalo Rock's first location opened on River Road in Waterville in 2021. The Oregon location is on Seaman Road inside the old fire station. Well, looking to be the most popular house on the block during trick-or-treating this year, we've got you covered. In today's Behind the Hashtag, we'll break down the best sweet treats to hand out during your Halloween trick-or-treating festivities. According to the national survey from Candy Store, the crown jewel of candy this year is M&M's, dethroning the multi-year reign of Reese's peanut butter cups. In Ohio specifically, the top candies are Blow Pops, M&M's, and Starburst. Meanwhile, in Michigan, Starburst takes the #1 spot, with candy corn and Butterfingers following close behind. Curious about the candies ranked worse in the U.S.? Circus Peanuts. Chris, that's no shocker. They took the #1 spot, followed by Peanut Butter Kisses and Candy Corn.
I expected the candy corn. How did it make it? I think was Michigan on both the favorite but also the worst,
The least
right?
favorite.
Shows it's pretty polarizing, right? Love it, hate it.
Yeah. I don't know. What was like when you went trick-or-treating as a kid? What was the candy you were looking for digging through the bag?
The sweeter, the more sour, the better. So, like, I love Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, yeah.
Sour Skittles, something like that.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
So I call it the dad tax now, all right? So I send the kids out trick-or-treating, right? So they go get all the candy, and then once they come in, teach them an important life lesson. I say, all right, now time for me to look through this, and I'm going to take a few things that I like, and I'm going to call it the dad tax. They're like, Dad, it works.
Life. Sorry. So you're still taking Sour Skittles and stuff.
Sour Skittles and Sour Patch Kids, they're all mine, so.
Ooh, I have to agree with you on that
I
one.
share well, though. What about you?
I would say the same. I would definitely say Sour Patch Kids, and then I also look for like anything peppermint.
Okay.
And also Reese's peanut butter cups.
Okay.
So we're on the same
York
page.
peppermint
here.
patty then.
If you get some extra sour stuff from your kids, bring it back here. Well, if you want to see more breakdowns of viral trends and 60-second stories, check out our WTOL 11 social media pages on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. NASA launched a mission today that will give us an idea about the possibility of life outside of Earth. The Europa Clipper is traveling to Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. NASA says it's one of the most promising places to look for habitable conditions in the solar system. When the spacecraft arrives, which won't be until 2030, 9 different instruments and a gravity experiment will study the ice-covered moon. In less than a month, Amtrak's new rail service will be up and running. Starting November 10th, you'll be able to board a train in Toledo and other nearby cities and travel to Florida without changing trains. Amtrak is temporarily combining the Capital Limited and the Silver Star trains to create the Floridian. The Amtrak spokesperson tells WTOL 11 the new service will operate on a similar schedule and take the same stops as the current trains. The full ride from the first to last stop could take you up to 47 hours and could cost you close to $400 a seat right now.
So we're combining a Florida train called the Silver Star and a train we call the Capital Limited, which goes through Toledo and the rest of the stations up there in Ohio, and creating a train called the Floridian. Floridian will pick you up at night, and then the next night and the following morning, you'll find yourself in Florida.
Tickets for the train are currently available. Private rooms are sold out for the first ride on November 10th. Hurricane Milton was called a 1,000-year storm. But what does that mean? Let's verify.
As Florida continues to recover from Hurricane Milton, meteorologist Matthew Capucci described it as more rare than a 1,000-year rain event. But that term confused some people. One person in the comments asked, how could they measure rain from 1,000 years ago? Another person suggested accurate rain records have only been available for about 50 years. So let's verify. Do 1,000-year storms only happen every 1,000 years? These are our sources. When meteorologists talk about 100-year floods or 1,000-year storms, they don't mean these weather events haven't happened for 100 or 1,000 years, or that they're comparing them to data from centuries ago. The term refers to the chance such a flood or storm might happen in any given year. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a 1,000-year weather event is one that statistically has a 1 in 1,000 chance of happening in any given year. In other words, the probability of a storm of that magnitude or greater happening in any given year is 0.1%. If a flood is described as a 100-year flood, that means there's a 1% chance of a flood of that magnitude each year. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration explains that figure is calculated using existing data, however far back that data may go. So even if there's just 80 years of weather data in a given area, scientists can use those 80 years of data to estimate just how likely certain weather events are to happen. However, probabilities are only consistent if climate is consistent, and the climate is changing. A 2023 climate report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change said the frequency and intensity of heavy precipitation events have increased since the 1950s. That means it's more likely that we'll see extreme weather events more often. So we can verify, no, 1,000-year storms do not happen only once every 1,000 years. With your Verify, I'm Ariante Till.
Some of Ohio's bravest first responders are home. Members of Ohio's Task Force 1 made it back safely today after being deployed after the hurricanes, going to both North Carolina and Florida. Its newest task force leader, John Kaminsky, is also Toledo's assistant fire chief.
We got to go in, make a difference, help people get back on their feet, and turn that corner. And to see neighbors helping neighbors, I don't care where we were, whether it was when we were in Tampa, North Carolina, and then Orlando area, to seeing everybody help each other, that's just remarkable. It just really shows exactly what we are as human beings, to lean on each other and help each other out.
While down in the south, the task force braved the storm while using search canines, boats, and specialized equipment to locate missing people. Chris?
So it's looking like we're going to be seeing the first frosty weather of the season. It's going to be rolling into the area. Could get a little patchy frost into early Tuesday morning, but the best chance, coldest weather is going to be Wednesday and Thursday, with lows that are going to drop back into the mid-30s. It could get a few spots back close to the freezing mark, right around the lower 30s. Bottom line, expect the cool, chilly weather to be part of the forecast the next couple of days. Current temperatures on our Monday evening have been falling back through the 50s and eventually going to race through the 40s and find ourselves in the mid to upper 30s as we get into our Tuesday morning. Really has been a dry day after some rain that did visit the area over the weekend, especially Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Wider perspective on this shows things are going to be fairly quiet. Most of what does come in the form of rain is going to be lake effect rain showers. We'll watch that east of I-75 for Tuesday afternoon. That'll be our better chance of rain showers. In fact, we'll do it one better. We'll put that hour by hour forecast into motion. Better chance of those rain showers, again, coming off of Lake Michigan into northern Indiana, coming off of Lake Huron and Lake Erie, will clip areas east of I-75. So if we do get rain chances on Tuesday, it is going to be along and east of I-75. Better chance of brighter skies and sunshine west of Toledo as we go through the afternoon. We'll see clearing skies Tuesday night and Wednesday. That's when that chilly weather really sets up. Should be clear enough into early Wednesday morning. Here we go. That we do see that pocket of clearing by Wednesday morning daybreak, back at the low to mid 30s. It is going to be a cool, crisp feel on Wednesday morning, and some areas of frost that will be possible. Dry weather into Wednesday afternoon, still though highs only in the 50s. So let's plan your day for Tuesday. Starting the morning off right around the mid to upper 30s. Mixed clouds, some peaks of sunshine, depending on where you are. Thicker clouds to the east with a chance of rain showers will be with us along and east of I-75, just barely edging into the low 50s. 10-day forecast has 53 on Tuesday. Chance of showers, that is going to